welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Zach, and here we talk about overlanding, gear builds, DIY, all sorts of stuff related to modifying your vehicle. Today we are going to be talking about a small modification you can do that's a little electrical switch made by DrKDSS. And if you haven't heard of DrKDSS, he's more known for his panhard correction bracket that seems to be going gangbusters across the sort of overlanding space, correcting that levelness to your panhard bar after you lift it. And that helps a lot with your rear axle to be centered, not cause crab walk, things of that nature. And so that's where you've maybe known him by, but he also does a ton of KDSS correction, products. Obviously DrKDSS like kind of checks out, but he sells a lot of different brackets for fixing your KDSS after you lift your 4Runner. So he sells a couple of system disengage switches as well. I think he sells basically a KDSS disengage, I think. I don't have KDSS, so I haven't really looked into it too much, but he also sells this ABS system disengage, which also turns off your traction control. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna install this switch, and it should, in theory, help us disengage ABS. So unfortunately, he's seen some freak accidents with people and their ABS. If you're using your vehicle for off-road and sort of pre-runner applications, or you're going really fast on some of this sort of loose material surfaces, you may want to consider looking into one of these ABS system disengages. I wasn't super familiar with these systems, but I guess they're pretty common in the pre-runner space, and all the guys out there that are doing Baja and things of that nature install a switch like this to keep them safe so that when they want to brake, they can actually brake and their ABS system doesn't completely take over for them when they're braking. So that's kind of the logic behind a switch like this. I understand that it might be a little bit spooky to tap into some of these wires. We're not necessarily doing something incredibly harmful, but proceed at your own risk as far as using a switch like this. But I think there's some merit here as far as just keeping myself safe, and that's going to be a decision for you whether you decide to purchase a product like this or not. If you ever have any concerns on how this works, or you want to learn a little bit more about it, definitely recommend you reach out to DrKDSS and ask him any sort of follow-up questions. He is a super great resource as far as knowledge goes, and he also just is really helpful and has great customer service. So if you're concerned about any of this, reach out to him. So what we're gonna do is we'll jump over to the top-down camera. I'm gonna kind of walk you through the product and at least kind of explain some of the different components that come with the product. And then we're gonna install it on the 4Runner, verify it works, and hopefully this isn't too much of a difficult install. So I am actually going to do this install simultaneously with the under seat compressor modification that I've already posted. So if you go back and want to watch that video, I'll put it up in the top somewhere. But I used a Desert Does It bracket to mount an ARB twin and my Midland radio under the seat. And when I did that, I had the whole entire passenger side all ripped open, and it really helped for making an easy install here. So if you're here for this switch, or you saw my Desert Does It video, I kind of did these all at once. It may be something to consider doing at the same time, considering the fact that a lot of times if you're removing interior panels, stuff like that, it will disable certain features of your vehicle for a little while, say pulling out your passenger seat or something like that. So if you're trying to sit down on a Saturday and do a bunch of this stuff yourself or what have you, it might be decent timing to do something like this. So with that being said, let's jump over to the top down. Let's get on with the video. All right, so this is not a huge package, and obviously you can see into the bag. We're gonna talk a little bit about what is included in this kit. So the reason these are all different pieces is technically you can order this without the switch, so that's why there's kind of a couple of different pieces here to kind of create a module. But this little switch is kind of cool. It says ABS/traction control off, and this should disable it entirely, whereas I think it only disables it partially in your vehicle for like going at slower speeds, but this I think is for fast speed traction control disable. So
Okay, I think I got this all figured out now, so I can explain it pretty quickly, pretty easily. So when you take it out of the box, you've got a couple of different pieces. You've got some connectors, you've got some wire, you've got some harnesses, yada yada. If you're gonna be hooking this up to a Switch Pros or something that has a ring terminal connection for power, that's why part of this is like separate. So the black and the red wire here would just be your ground and your positive signal from a switch. So that's why basically right here, this is going to be the ground, which you can just use a body ground, he says in the instructions. And then for your positive signal, we're going to actually do that out of the little switch that's included, because I thought this would be kind of fun to have as an OEM style switch. So what we've got going on here is within this harness, green is going to be your positive signal. And when the switch is on, the power coming in the red cable will go out the green. When it's off, it won't. This blue wire here is solely for just the backlight feature of this switch. So if you didn't care about the backlight feature, I guess you could just not connect this, because when you push this in and out, it actually is like it stops in different places. But I would recommend hooking up the backlight, because why not? So all we got to do now is find a spot to plug in our add a fuse here, which will provide the power to our switch. Find a spot near the fuse, which is probably just our fuse box screw, to ground this. And then we will use this and one of these taps to tap the blue wire. And then we'll use this tap here with this to tap for the actual connection to the four-wheel drive module. All right, well, that's everything. So now we can jump out to the vehicle, disassemble it, and then get this installed. So what you do is first start down here, take off this trim, then you're going to take off this trim. There's a little plastic bolt in the back. You can kind of see right in there. There's the bolt. It's hard to focus on, it's right back there. And then all you're going to do is work your way through. There's a bunch of 10mm bolts you remove. So once you pull that off, there's a bolt here. You're going to remove a bolt here. There's two up here. And then there's plastic in there that you also remove. A lot of it's held on with these little red clips. So you just have to be patient and work your way through. A lot of times grabbing things on this side and pulling them made it fairly straightforward. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to get this four-wheel drive module exposed. And this is what DrKDSS talks about in his video. So once we got it, we're going to tap in our fuse right here. And hopefully it's not too difficult. We just need to tap into number 14, which is this colored wire on the screen. I'll try and mark it on there. Okay, so it's starting to get a little dark out here, but basically what I did is I tied into the green wire for this front windshield defrost. So you can kind of see that right there. And then I routed the switch, and pulling this off is all clips, so it's pretty handy. This you can get a little bit of space behind if you pull it out, but there's a screw down there, so you have to be careful. And then you come up under here. You can use that screw for your ground, and then you can tap in to an add a fuse down there. You can pick from a bunch of them. All you got to do is use a ohm meter to pick one. The one I used for this was the gauge cluster, the 7.5 amp one. So you can see that gauge, like bottom left. Doesn't really matter. Literally just take a multimeter, put it on DC voltage, and then pull out the fuse, see if it's 0 before you turn on the car, and then when you turn on the car, if it's 12 or 13 volts, then you're basically good to go. So what I did is I routed everything. Car is in shambles. Key in the ignition. Turn it on. All right. Come down here. When we press it, it illuminates, which is blue, which is great. And you can see traction off, ABS light. Push it, turns off, goes away, goes away. All right, so we're good to go. That means we can start putting everything back together. Also, got some pretty decent lighting, so I'll just show you. We got to grab that purple wire and put the little add a fuse in there. Or sorry, it's not add a fuse, T-tap. And you can kind of pick anywhere along the purple wire, so if you wanted to go back a little ways, you could. Key is just to make sure that you really dig into that insulation a bit so that that has a nice clean connection there. And yeah, then you should be good to go. So that's what I did. I routed my wire. Let's see if I can show you. I routed mine right there, kind of right behind the climate controls, because my radio is kind of a cluster. So that's what I did, and I think it should be perfect.
Well, thank you so much for watching. Like I said before, I would say for this switch especially, this is a proceed at your own risk, and definitely something that would be off-road use only. Your ABS system is there for a reason. Toyota installed it for a reason. I think it's even probably part of safety features on a vehicle for a reason. So this isn't something that you just turn on for fun when you're going down the road or driving in winter conditions or something like that. I think I'd be very diligent about when you would want to use this. Just want to share all of that so that none of you go out there and do something dangerous. Like I said, if you're curious on what this entirely does to your vehicle, I'm just following the instructions from the DrKDSS install. He has tested this more than I have in Baja, and he's developed the product. So if you have questions on what it's doing to the functionality of the vehicle, or if you have concerns about the product after you've installed it or anything like that, just reach out to him. He's got great customer service. But I hope this install walkthrough was somewhat helpful for you. I find that having some sort of a video component to an install manual can be handy. So that is why I like making these videos, to just kind of showcase me walking through install manuals. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the support. If you have any questions that I can answer, I'll try to down below, so feel free to comment them. But with that being said, I'll catch you all in the next video.